All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 3 of Birth of a Degenerate, brought to you from Betting the Diagonal. Morgan here with my co-chair Billy and our little man-child, Jared over here, our little bowling ball. How are you guys doing tonight?
Splendid.
I'm doing well. I'm winning a few bets tonight, but nothing crazy.
Nothing
Hopefully
too crazy.
you're,
Jared, I meant to say, you got the new haircut. You kind of look like Kirby a little bit.
That's brutal. Cash me out, young king. I'll take that one to the bank.
But anyway, all right, boys. Well, again, welcome back, Jared. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here again. I know it's such a stretch for you. You have such a busy life. Boys,
it is really busy.
We're 4 days past the end of the NFL season now. How about that Super Bowl? Whew! That was a game for the ages, wasn't it?
Fuck that game. It's stupid shit.
I
lost everything. I lost everything.
We'll get into that in just a second. We'll get into that in a minute. But boys, what about that game? How about what happened to the Chiefs? Uh-oh.
Looks like they switched with the fucking Philadelphia Eagles.
I will say, and if you listen to Betting the Diagonal, Billy's been saying this for a few weeks. Turf toe. That's a career-ending injury. Career-ending injury right there.
That now he needs surgery on. He needs surgery on.
Look, my favorite little Mahomes. Take a seat. Go play with Kermit with the other little Muppets. You're not playing next season. Fucking crazy. That was absolutely wild. They were just. I was shocked. I was on the Chiefs side of that game. Kirby over here, he was on the Chiefs, I know as well. So that was kind of rough, but that was. I did not see that happen. Boys, any thoughts on that before we go a little bit next?
Sure, I was on the Bucks.
I am aware.
I thought I had the future on the Chiefs, like I've been saying for weeks now, and I was like, they're not gonna win. Turf toe, backup offensive lineman.
Oof. Yeah, that line, yikes.
Yeah,
I've seen better security at Coachella 3 years ago when I was going in there.
Oh boy, yeah, you know what that means.
We know.
So, a quick recap of how my Super Bowl Sunday went. I was making food for the family, and my dad walks in the kitchen. He goes, "Hey," I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "I bet you $50 that the Chiefs win." I said, "You sure you want to bet $50 on that?" Me being super confident, my bet. Oh, what a glorious! Because he's the man who doesn't really watch a lot of football. Meanwhile, I'm on FFT. I watch and break down football every single week. I know every player on the team. That guy didn't know Gronkowski was on the team. When he caught the first touchdown, he goes, "Oh, what the hell?" Right? And we're a Steeler household. Antonio Brown catches the next touchdown. He goes, "What the fuck is that? Who let him on a team?" I said, "Tom Brady did, baby."
All you needed was a Le'Veon Bell touchdown for the Chiefs, and you had the trifecta right there.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been glorious.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I remember. I know some people had it. None of us had it. As Gronk has that first touchdown score, and then the 2 touchdown. Should have saw it coming. In all honesty, like that was just should have been easy money. Didn't even think of it.
Really should have.
But that's pretty wild. As we're kind of talking about the Bucs now, Tom Brady does it again. This guy. I mean, I don't know what was.
Hey, I just noticed that. Iconic. That's iconic right there.
I love drunk Tom Brady. I fucking love the guy.
Throwing the Lombardi trophy in the middle of the ocean. Crazy.
Nothing to see here. Just a little avocado tequila.
The craziest thing, as great as Tom Brady was that whole game, that Lombardi toss was his most accurate throw of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal. I mean, there's no question. Anyone who want to see it, and I know one of my big things that I said last week was, is this a passing of the torch kind of thing? Brady to Mahomes. Mahomes takes him down, and this is where Mahomes kind of stakes his claim. Brady ain't going anywhere. Brady's going to play at least another 10 years. Like, it is unbelievable. how good this guy is. And I think he's still just getting better. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, he was just really composed that whole game, except for like one or two plays where like he was frustrated. But you know, like he's been here, like what 10 times, 10 times.
That was his 10
Yeah,
Super
you know,
Bowl,
like
yep.
this is just business for Brady, and like you could see how like he led the Bucks. He was just like, it's like I have faith in our defense, which severely rocked the Chiefs left and right. I mean, it was a shellacking. It was a defensive shellacking. Shout out to my former Giant, JPP. Seven Fingers Wonder. Yeah. He was bringing the pressure and everything. Congrats to him. That defense was absolute, and to end the game with an interception to crush and win people a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy,
I think who really should have been Super Bowl MVP, most underrated player for this whole Bucs season, Jameis Winston. If it wasn't for Jameis Winston, Tom Brady's not down there. If my man Jameis didn't throw 30-plus picks last year, didn't throw a pick six on his last pass ever as a Buccaneer, Tom Brady's not down there winning Super Bowls. You know, he might still be down there stealing crab legs out of your local Acme. You know, who knows what he's up to. Last thing before we recap some of the picks from the game real quick, I have to ask you guys, how about that halftime show? Oof. Ooh, that was
weird. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good.
Wasn't bad.
I don't think it was good. I don't think it was good.
I don't think it was either one of them.
You just have to understand the rhyme and reason of like the halftime show, because it's really based around the character that like he put forth in his album. Like, you know, that was a whole thing. So
the weekend,
if you didn't get it, you didn't like it.
So when I was at Coachella 3 years ago, the weekend was one of the headliners, and what I saw in that halftime show is what I saw tripping acid out in the middle of the desert. So it was absolutely wild. So I was like, what am I watching right now? I mean, it was tough also, obviously. Very different circumstance. The audio was pretty crappy, I think, all around.
Yeah, it was.
But
it was really bad.
Yeah.
But the audio itself, like, you could hardly hear the music.
It was tough. No Kenny G, unfortunately.
Oh,
tough loss
brutal.
on that one. That was
my
tough.
My mom at one point was like, you need to shut up about Kenny G. I'm like, he's coming. He's coming.
Billy was texting our betting diagonal chat and everything. Kenny G, here we go. Greg's asking us to hop in Discord with him. We got to watch halftime. We got to see Kenny G come out. Yeah. He never came out. It really changed the tune for the entire night. But there was some awesome gambles going out there. Some great ones. Let's recap 4 plays real quick that are props that we talked about. National anthem. You know, Billy and I, we talked about this. Easy money. You know, there was a massive leak that came out about it. But if you knew anything about the singers who were doing it, any little bit of research, that line for there opened up at 1:46, I believe it was, or something like around that ballpark. It ended up going 2 minutes and 17 seconds on that national anthem. Easiest money of the day. We were sitting there. Billy was hyped right off the jump. He knew. I was like, this is going to be a good day. However, it did bounce back a little bit. If I remember correctly, all the boys, both the two of you in Birth and the Degenerate, and the other co-host in Betting It Out, were all on tails for the coin flip.
Fails.
I was the only one who said heads. Heads did win this time. That was a tough break. Doesn't happen very often, and we talked about it. 52% of the time it hits tails. Not this year.
That was one of the first times I cursed in front of my mom. I went, fucking kidding me. And she looked at me and she wanted to hit me.
That play right there pretty much was going to sum up Jared's day immediately.
I was going to... I'm going to chalk that one up to the person who tossed the coin. Shout out to all the nurses and doctors out there, but you have no business flipping a coin with my hard-earned money.
The only time that you should be on that football field is when my man tears his Achilles or something. Otherwise, leave it to the professionals. Turf toe, exactly. The worst injury you can get in sports. Leave it to the professionals. You know, It was tough. As soon as that bet hit, I sent my Venmo request over to Jared, and I just smiled. Tails never fails, baby. So happy about that one. I wanted him to win, but I was ecstatic just about at the same time. And then the last two I wanted to go over before we just talk about Jared's record, just get into tonight's episode. Another one, Billy and we talked about, and Jared was on the opposite side of us on this one. Travis Kelce, easy money. With the catches, we talked about that. With the receiving yards, we talked about that. We'll talk about what Jared did in a second, but easy money. He's going to be cash every single game for the rest of his career, pretty much. And then the suspense and torture that was the Gatorade drop. We were sitting there screaming back and forth via text. What the hell color just got spilled? CBS did a awful job. They have one job. That game is coming to the end. It's a 22-point game. It's over. You have one job. You look out for the Degenerates. You focus solely on Bruce Arians and let me know what color that Gatorade's going to be. The fact that we had to wait 10 minutes after the game ended to find out what color the Gatorade was, that was brutal.
Some schmuck that was at the game.
And full credit, the guy at the game obviously broke it, but I'd like to say Billy and Betting a Diagonal was really quick on that one also. We got it out there fast. We might not have been the first to break it, but my man Billy here, he was quick to the trigger on that one. He called it fast. We were on that one. That was tough. Jared, since this series is about making you a gambler, how'd you do? How'd you do on the Super Bowl?
Fucking sucks. I'm never doing it again. It's the worst experience of my life. I lost everything. I lost on here, and then I lost in perfect fucking picks. And you know what? I blame Billy for some of those perfect picks. And just fuck it. I'm never touching it again. I'm never touching Super Bowl again, gambling wise. The worst thing in the world.
That's a lie.
That's definitely a lie.
It's not a lie. It's the truth.
You didn't lose every pick, so
I lost everything.
Welcome to a Tuesday for me.
You won one pick.
What?
So, since apparently you don't know what your card was, I have
National Anthem.
No, that wasn't even official pick for you, you dummy. So Jared's card to recap for those of you who didn't see last week's episode, he had the Chiefs -3. He had over 56 points.
Loss, which is shocking.
He had slime as the color for the Gatorade. This guy had a completely.
It wasn't fucking purple, was it?
Purple's much closer than
allegedly.
It was a fucking purple, so shut up.
So those three picks clearly were all misses. He did hit on his next one, which was the Bucs' first TD. It's pretty easy to hit on the first TD when the Chiefs don't score a touchdown the entire game. He missed on tails, clearly, because we already went over that. And his last pick of the day was to fade me and Billy and go under on Travis Kelce yards. So he finished the Super Bowl 1-5. It was a tough look. Jared, what'd you learn? You had fun though, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I did not. I did not. I was watching. I was literally watching my dollars burn up. Just poof, poof, poof. Every time Travis Kelce caught the ball, I went, nah, fuck it. Every time Patrick Mahomes fucking ran 20 yards back, fuck it. At this point, I was just like, no, this is not fun. This is not fun at all. And then the whole Gatorade fiasco happened, and I'm getting text messages. Oh, it's purple, it's purple. And then the lemon limes come in, and I'm like, holy shit, they're saying it's lemon lime, and then it's blue. Blue?
Allegedly.
Arctic?
I'd like to throw a challenge flag. I really want to see the tapes. I still think it was purple.
It was very close to looking like purple.
Yeah.
It was very blue.
So officially, Jared went 1-5 for the Super Bowl. Big yikes! But what do we always say on Betting Diagonal, Jared? What's our motto?
It's just money.
It's not. It's just money. It's only money.
It's all money is money. I lost it.
Don't worry. You just got a new job.
Yeah, you're set. you're set. Now you just throw all that pay into your account, and you're ready to roll and start putting in some more plays. Which will be a perfect segue into tonight's topic. But just to recap real quick, so Jared overall for the past 3 weeks of him actually putting plays out is 4-6. He was 3-1 going into the Super Bowl. Clearly, Jared is not the NFL gambler that we thought he was when he went 2-0. He's now 3-5 as an NFL gambler. So, it's early. It's early. It'll happen.
Now, real quick before we get him completely discouraged, the NFL by trade is the hardest sport to gamble on. It is the most accurate sport that Vegas does. There's a reason why there's so many pushes and so many 0.5 losses. This is the hardest sport to gamble on out of anything. So don't get your hopes down, because Morgan's going to lead you to victory hopefully in the NBA, or maybe not. He's a little cold.
I'm gonna tease it a little bit tonight, but Morgan's heating up again, baby. Morgan's starting to come back. He's climbing. I fell down Mount Everest. I fell back down the base camp and just rolled down like a snowball. I'm back. I'm climbing right now. I'm at base camp 2. We're going to see if we can get to the peak. But, all right, getting into tonight's episode, first thing before we go too far, Jared, we want to do a brief recap with you, all right? Let's go over what we've learned in our past 2 episodes. Just a few words. I just want to go over, see what you remember.
Thank you.
Yeah, bless you. Whatever. Stop sneezing on my stream. Couple things I want to just, pick a memory. See what you remember. See what you've been paying attention to mostly. All right, I'm going to give you a couple words. You tell me what they are. Okay. What's the line?
Line is the spread and over and under. The spread over and under.
And the money line.
Yeah, money line.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Like, talk.
Yeah.
No?
Okay. All right. So what's the spread, Jared?
The spread is taking or laying points from a team that's going to cover.
Yeah. So your spread is. Let's think about your Chiefs -3. That's your spread right there. Okay. You had the Chiefs winning by more than 3 points. You were wrong.
They didn't.
Wrong, you were wrong. You were wrong mainly. I'm not as upset that I was wrong for you. That's a big oof. But yeah, so that's who you think is going to win or cover by that set of points, right? So kind of digging a little bit more. What's getting points? What's laying points? So what's getting points first? Think of the Super Bowl. Who is getting points?
Getting points. Those are the underdogs, people who aren't expected to win.
Yes. So who was getting points in the Super Bowl?
Bucks.
The Bucks were, yes, and they clearly did not need them. So who was laying the points?
Chiefs.
Do you remember what it was?
That's like you're giving points.
Do you remember what the number was? Remember that you bet on.
Oh, the number I bet on. Shit. What was it? 3? 3.5?
Straight 3.
It was straight 3.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I think our next week's episode is just going to be how to maintain your card and keep track of your card. You could do what I do and just maybe just write it on a piece of paper. Pretty easy.
Don't use the paper. Use your notes in your phone like simple. An adult.
I'm old fashioned. All right. All right, Jared. I got 2 more I want to go over with you real quick. Simple one. Okay. What's the underdog?
Underdog is a team that's not expected to win.
All right. Who's the favorite, or what's the favorite?
The favorite is the team that's going to win or expected to win. Exactly.
All right. And last one I want to get with you real quick before we go into tonight's topic. What's the hook? And it's not a pirate there in Never Never Land. What's the hook?
Oh, the first hook like that. Oh, you mean the half point, so that there's no push.
Bingo! Look at that. This kid might know something after all. Looks like
the longer we test him, he starts to pick it up and remembers what we were talking about.
Oh, I mean, it couldn't be, the notes that he has taken for him and everything that he can get read off and everything right in front of him that tell him what things are. But, he's picking some things up. All right, Jared.
I think better notes. I can't understand these now.
You better get ready. Your test is coming up. Week 5, you're going to have a nice little 10-question quiz that I'm going to write up for you.
Questions?
And it's a 10-question quiz. And if you get it wrong, I get to paint you pink like Kirby instead of you just looking like him currently.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
No.
That's what happens when you're in the host chair. You do what you want.
I have no comment on that, boys and girls. No comment at all.
All right. This week, Jared, I want to talk units. All right. What do you think a unit is? I don't expect you to know this, but what do you think a unit is?
Unit.
Not 50 cent. It's not G unit.
Good.
I like that.
It's
okay.
I need a little snare drum riff right behind me every time I say something.
Group of bets or something like that. Like how much money you're putting on or something like that.
It's somewhat close. So, all right. So, how much? I know you don't really have an account per se, but when we had your account set up with $10 in your account, right? That's your bankroll right there that you're working with. Okay. Your unit is going to be your base play that you put on a game. Okay. So say right now your account has $10 in it. Typically, say you're playing a $5 bet, and that's your typical bet. That's your unit right there. When you say, I'm putting a unit on this game, I'm putting 1.5 units on this game, 2 units on this game. That's going to be the number that you typically play, and that's your solid number that you sit on that you're going to play based off kind of your bankroll, okay? How do you think you figure out what your unit is? How do you think we figure out that number? And it varies for everybody, but how do you think you'd figure out this number?
You take like a percentage of your bankroll.
Beautiful. Look at this guy. We were in some dumb math classes at Alvernia, but he's learning something. So yes, it's going to be a percentage of what. So typically speaking, a unit for you should usually be between like 2% to 4% of your bankroll, right? So I know we talked off stream. I gave you the example. Say you have $1,000 in your account right now for your bankroll, okay? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to use maybe about 2%, 4% of that as your unit that you're using currently, okay? A popular unit size, with $1,000 bankroll, even $100 bankroll. Not $100. I wouldn't recommend this for you, especially. A $20 to $40 bet. That's going to be a good unit size right there. So say $20 is your typical bet, and you're laying it on the Chiefs, -3 for the Super Bowl. I'm going to play a unit on that. That means I'm putting a $20 bet on that game right there. Okay, I'm risking a unit there to win the game or to win that bet. Okay, does that make sense?
Sort of, kind of.
Okay, so
this is where I come in here.
Oh,
so
right.
A unit, essentially, because Morgan talks about the units, but he doesn't always use them. I'm an avid unit bettor. Yeah. Like, you can see me, like, remember the episode where I fell out of the chair?
Mm-hmm. Classic episode.
Yeah. I'm gonna clip that one day and put it up on Twitter. That day, I may have lost almost every bet, but I didn't lose all the money in my account.
Oh.
Because
you only lost the unit that you put down.
Yeah. I may have lost almost every bet, but I didn't lose my entire account. Whereas, like, somebody like Greg doesn't use unit system like I do. So if he's feeling super confident in a game, his entire account could potentially be on it. Where like I would never do that. Never let it happen. Like a lot of professional gamblers, the most amount they'll put on would be 5% of their bankroll. So they would like give out a play. It's like 5% play. So you would say your bet is $10, or say your bet's $20. Keep it the $20 system. Mm-hmm. If that guy says it's a 5-unit bet, you're playing $100 game. But risk. It's always risk and reward at the end. But the main idea behind the unit is to never lose too much money on a single game.
Yes. So whereas me, I'm not the guy who plays units a lot. I like to go off feel. I like to go off big numbers, really. I like to risk my money. And it's not a good strategy all the time. I can get hammered big time. It could work out great. Sometimes I have great plays that come out of it, and I make good, nice pretty penny out of it. But what's one of the big keys of gambling? And this is why units is so big. What do we tell gamblers? And it's not that it's only money.
Gamble responsibly.
Gamble responsibly. That's the big key with gambling. We are big advocates of gambling responsibly. Unit play allows you to gamble responsibly. You are not throwing all of your money at the wall. You're not being Morgan when he plays every single Eagles game when he shouldn't be and throws every penny he has in it because he can't help himself. He has no self-control. You're being smart with your money. You might like the Knicks play tonight, but you're not throwing every dollar in your account on it. You're maybe throwing a unit on it. You're not taking your $10 you have in your account. Maybe you're putting $2. One unit per use $2, right? You're putting $2 on that game. All right.
See, like you're breaking the rule there. You're not supposed to bet on your favorite team.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. To pay attention. This is maybe the happiest moment I've ever had. I won't make fun of you the rest of this episode. That's a lie. I'm going to tell you that right now.
That's a lie.
But I'll try. I won't call you McChicken or anything. So yes. Gamble responsibly. Don't bet on your favorite teams. Now, you don't necessarily always have to live by that. I've been betting the Sixers a lot this season. The Sixers are a cash cow, but that's for a different episode. A nice thing with betting the units, also, especially when you post your plays. Now, us at Betting the Diagonal, we don't really do this. Maybe we will do this in the future. We don't really post how many units we're putting in on a game. However, the big time gamblers out there who are doing this for a career and making money off of their picks, they'll tell you how many units they're putting in on a game. If I'm putting 5 units on a game versus 2 units on another game, you got a pretty good idea of how confident I am in that number, right? If my unit is $20 a unit and I'm going to lay $100 on the Sixers minus 5.5 tonight against the Trailblazers, as opposed to I would play who the fuck else played tonight? The Celtics game against the Raptors, right? And maybe I've got a 2-unit play. I'm much more confident in that Sixers pick. I've done more research than that. We've always said you need to do your research, right? I'm much more confident in that pick. It shows the people who are looking at your picks, what you're playing, and whose picks you're taking in, how confident they feel in those kind of ones. So it gives you a good idea, right? And then when you also post your units, so say someday down the road we decide you're worthy enough to become one of the hosts of Betting the Diagonal, and we want you to throw picks up with us and everything. If you're up there and you're telling our followers and your followers, hey, I'm up 15 units on the year and everything, you get your viewer gets a good idea how much money they would have won off of that, right? So say your typical unit is $20. Your viewer might not know that that's your typical number and everything, but they can do the math in their own head. Maybe their unit number is $1. Okay, they're up $15 on the year right there. Your unit's $20. You're up $300 on the year. Okay, that makes sense.
Kind of. I think some research can't help.
That's true. Research is always key. You don't want to just shoot from the hip, as much as some of us like to just shoot from the hip on our picks and everything. It works every now and then. There's other times where it doesn't work. Sometimes you can't just go off field, but it is always good to do the research when you are making your plays. So, Billy, anything you want to throw at Jared real quick on the units? Just talk about units. You're more of a unit guy, like we were saying, obviously, than I am. Anything else you want to throw in there with that?
I think you covered a lot of it. Like I said, it's just a better. I find it a better way to gamble more responsibly, really, because
and efficiently.
It's efficient. It's a way to keep track of your winnings and your losses better. Because say you're betting on like for me, I like to bet on hockey, but I bet moneyline hockey for the most part, either win or loss. So the odds aren't as great all the time. So I would have to put, say it's a minus 200, I would have to put 2 units just to win 1 unit.
Yeah.
So I can keep track of how many units I'm bringing in versus taking out, how many. Really, I think it's a simpler way to gamble once you understand it, and it keeps you from losing all your money and having to sell your new PC or getting fired
Kidney.
from your new job because you were researching games all night and you didn't have time to hit that one big game that you wind up losing anyway. I find it much easier, personally.
Yeah, and it's definitely, for myself, it's something that I know I want to, incorporate a little bit better. So I'm just more responsible. I haven't gotten to that breaking point just yet. But, for someone who's like yourself, who's learning how to gamble, this is a great way for you not to go off the deep end. This is a great way so you can, get that McChicken on a Friday night, so that way you can get some Smoky Bones ribs or wings and stuff on a Saturday.
Wing experience, baby. You know the vibes.
We'll plug that in a minute for you.
Not a sponsor. Never will be a sponsor.
Yeah, no free ads. No free ads
sponsor.
here.
No free ads.
We just want good wings.
Jared, what kind of questions? Do you have any questions on the units? Got any unit player or anything?
Not really. It sounds. I mean, from what it sounds like, that it is efficient. It's safe. It's a good way to keep track of your money and to keep you in check and to be a responsible gambler. And at the same time, I'm lazy as fuck and I don't feel like putting in that work. So I might just, say, balls to the wall. Let's go. Slam it. Put the whole thing on.
That's how you lose all your money.
So for whoever's watching
it's
this,
only money.
Season 2 of Birthing of the Degenerate is going to have a smarter gambler as our test guy that we're working on.
Yes.
This one here for season 1, we're really trying. There's the secret meetings with the producers behind closed doors. We're actually trying to set Jared up for failure and just, have him living on the street. Season 2, we're going to set someone up to be the next Howard Ratner and, just go nuts and everything. So we're gonna
get it was a rat.
That's some homework right there for you. Another piece for next week's episode. And then this is for everybody who's watching this right now and listening to this. If you have not seen Uncut Gems and you want to get into sports gambling, sports betting, highly recommend. Phenomenal movie, even if you're not into sports gambling. Great movie. And you can learn some things about it. So, Jared, homework for you for next week. You got a week to do it. Good thing you don't start work until next week. Looks like you got some free time on your hands. All right, boys. So that's going to be all I want to go over today's episode. I don't want to throw too much at Jared. Like I said, week 5's episode is going to have a special quiz for Jared. That will be the quiz episode where we are just going to test Jared. So we'll have some new content for Jared again next week with some new material. But Jared, I challenged you earlier. What are some picks that you have for the Friday's NBA slate, right? I want 3 picks from you.
I have the Celtics at -8.5, the Bulls at +6.5, and the Blazers at -4.5.
Any reason behind any of those picks, or?
Well, it's Dame time. The Blazers are always balling.
It's actually Dame time right now against the Sixers.
It is Dame time right now against the Sixers.
I really hope it's not Dame time right now against the Sixers.
And my only worry is that it's Dame time right now against the Sixers because they're going to be doing it back-to-back. So, maybe there might be some fatigue. As you know, Zach LaVine has been balling the absolute fuck out. He is not Hall of Fame. He is All-Star Game. No.
Holy
he is
shit.
All-Star Game. He is All-Star Game ready. All right. Put this man in the All-Star Game, and I'm not talking about just the dunk contest. Put him in the All-Star Game. He is playing some All-Star level basketball. Like he's been doing for a little while. He's been playing good, but you know what? It's the Clippers. The Clippers are, it's Kawhi, it's PG. So who knows? So that's why I have the Bulls at 6.5, and then the Celtics. I like the Celtics against the Pistons. Pistons just lost Derrick Rose to a future playoff team. Who's gonna make a run? Gonna make a run at the Eastern Conference Finals because you know we could do it. You know the New York Knicks. So you know maybe they're in a bit of a shambles, and the Celtics
this
can
is
close
not the
out.
Knicks tape podcast here.
So
I don't need to keep talking about the Knicks.
that's why I am taking the Celtics. And
Completely.
go Knicks. Go Knicks. I know that you're not supposed to bet on your favorite team. That's why I am not. And that's why I'm advising you, Morgan, not to do it. And you too, Billy. They will
I
let
will
you down.
be betting on the Knicks tomorrow.
No, they will let you down. They are cucks. Okay? Cucks. C-U-C-K-S cucks. That's what they do. They're gonna get to the playoffs, but then they just got cuck us. They're gonna cuck me. Okay? They're gonna have a large sign saying cuck. Cuck Jared.
All right.
I get it.
All right.
I get it.
You're a big fan.
Do not bet on the Knicks, please.
We're never gonna get any ad sponsorship with the amount of time you just said cuck. Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness. Anybody listening right now, I apologize for Jared. He can't help himself. He's a little wiry little bugger. He's wiry, as they like to say in the replacements. So we see Jared's card for tomorrow. We'll talk about it next week. We'll go into a little bit. I have his card. Jared, try to keep track of your card, please.
You know what's funny? I just found my card. It's in my
notes. Sure you did. He found his card from 3 weeks ago, probably.
It's in my notes. Yeah, that's there too. That's there too.
All right, so let's bring it back in here, boys. Jared is going off the deep end. I don't know if he's getting hungry, if he's getting tired. I don't know what's happening, but we have almost lost Jared at this point. Let's rein it in. Boys, any final thoughts, closing thoughts before we shut her down?
Jared, don't put your whole account on one game.
I won't.
Don't go balls to the wall. It never works. You can ask Morgan. Morgan has a horror story. Maybe we can bring it up one day.
It's all dependent on how much avocado tequila I have.
Yeah. Maybe we do one episode of just like life lessons we learned about gambling from just me and you, and just have Jared
don't drink while you're gambling.
Yeah. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, there's plenty. We'll do that. We'll just have a horror story episode. Let Jared just watch. Nobody really wants to listen to Jared talk anyway. Who's listening to this or watching this right now? They're here to watch Billy and I. So we'll just let Jared's jaw just dropping everything at the bad beats, the horror stories, the Sunday scaries from football games that we've gotten. Boys, as always, it's a pleasure. We have Billy. Billy, where can I find you?
Billy FFD on the Twitter, and that's the only place I'm advertising.
Jared, where can I find you at right now?
J Philly the Kid. That's all my socials. On my Twitter, there is a link tree that gives you every one of my socials. Follow me on TikTok, big TikTok
guy.
Lonk in the bio. Shout out to my boy Bush on her. Look, everyone who's listening right now, you are looking at the next big TikTok star. My guy here, he's going to be the next Wiggle Dicker. I cannot wait to watch him dancing up there.
What on earth?
Phenomenal. It's going to be amazing. Take a look at Jared on Twitch. He is one of the boys here. We look out for our boys at J Philly the Kid. He's up there every night grinding. He's doing his shout out to RIP Nipsey, grinding every night, grinding every day. This kid, he works hard. You can find me at MoWatch26 on Twitter, where we're posting. You can find Billy and I, and occasionally Jared, when we decide to let the little boys play, posting our picks at Betting the Diagonal. Every now and then we let him throw a little teaser in there. It never ends up working, so you should fade him every single time. Yes. Oh, no, Billy had his hand up for follow Greg.
Get you 100 followers.
Our passion project for Greg, who is our co-host for Betting Diagonal, is to get him to 100 followers. We're still sitting at 7, people. We're trying so hard. We've been at 7 for almost a month now. Somebody out there, give him a pity follow. Follow him for 24 hours. I don't care if you unfollow him later, but give him at least a little bit. Give him some hope. You got to give the kid some hope. Our boy Greg is going to come out later tonight when we record Betting the Diagonal with some great UFC picks for this weekend. So Greg's Fight Corner will be on later tonight. Take a look at that. I know we've gotten a lot of requests for some more UFC content. Boys, as always, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing y'all next week for next week's episode. Thank you for tuning in. This was Birthing Degenerate, and we will see you guys next week.